This mask harms significantly your first layer of immunity, which is your innate immunity. Number of deaths due to cardiovascular disease is going to rise significantly. Number of neurodegenerative disease, which is depression, suicide, those death is going to, and Alzheimer obviously is going to jump seriously, and then cancer death. In the standard operating procedure of N95 mask, it is clearly written that once you wear the N95 mask, after every 15 minutes, you have to bring it down for 5 minutes. Recently, our health ministry has already published that data that there is a 14%, 14% jump in tuberculosis.
So, welcome viewers. Today we have Rupam Das from Bangalore. He is the CEO of IQD Labs Private Limited. Welcome, Rupam.
Thank you. Thanks, Karthik. Thank you so much for having me in your show. Much appreciated.
So, Rupam, tell us what is IQD Labs and what is the kind of thing that you deliver, and what is your objective of your lab?
IQD Labs is a healthcare company, new age medical diagnostics company, where the objective of this company is to bring down the complex diagnostic test into small form factor and make it available to the bottom of the pyramid, person of the bottom of the pyramid. So what we do is we use the power of mathematics and algorithm to bring down very complex medical equipments into your phones and other small devices, and then make them available to the person who is at the fag end of the country where not much of the facilities reach. So that's what IQD Lab is.
Great, Rupam. So, given the current pandemic situation, wearing mask has become a necessity. Can you comment? Like, do you think it is a good practice to wear mask given the present scenario?
Well, we have to look at this problem. Me being a clinical researcher or a medical diagnostic development, we look into anything, any anomalies or any suggestions into various aspects. Okay. Now, let me explain you what we mean by health in a very short and concise manner. Now, when we talk about health, there is one part which is our body. All right. Now, this body has got two parts. One is the physiology, one is the pathology, right? Yes. So pathology is whatever the organ system are working and how your blood flow is happening, all the blood biochemistry. Physiology is whatever is appearing outside you, right? So any pathological changes is appeared in your outer body, which is the physiology. So if you have a hair fall, that is because of some reason which is happening inside the body, and so on, right? And then there is a whole lot of a different component which is called the psychology, right? So there are three parts: the psychology, the physiology, and the internal pathology. So these three things together creates your health. All right. Now, when you look at me at this moment, I am physiologically perfect, which means that I have no exhaustion, no apparent sign that I have any problem inside my body, right? Now, what happens is if I, for example, if I press my, if I can show you this, if I really press this for, let's say, 3 minutes, right? If I keep it pressed, or if I can kind of put a rubber band, you'll see a blue line over here where our veins are. So what is actually happening is you can see a physiological change over here, that my hand is becoming blue. Okay, and any physiology do affect the pathology. Any pathology do affects the physiology. So for example, if you are running on the windmill, right, you are sweating. Treadmill, and you are sweating. So sweating is your physiological phenomenon. But because there is something extra in your physiology or outer body, there has to be something extra inside your body, which is that when you touch your heart, you'll see that heart is beating very, very fast, right? And the same thing happens when you you take different scenarios, right? You eat too much in a party and you feel kind of tired. Your stomach is filled. You go to a marriage party in Delhi, you pretty much feel very tired, and that's because you have eaten too much. So that is pathology. Now there is something called psychology. Now the way your physiology affects pathology, pathology affects your physiology. Both of them in turn affect your psychology. So let's say if I hadn't had a good sleep yesterday night, I wouldn't have been passionate enough or energetic enough to come to your channel and speak before you. All right. There might not have been any apparent problem. I mean, there'd be some physiological problem, obviously tiredness, but it wouldn't have allowed my mind to focus. Right. The same thing. Let's say that if I have a lot of phone calls right now coming one after the other, I'll get very irritated, which means that there is a physiological change. I mean, there is a psychological change. It is affecting my mind, and then you'll see my entire body language changing, right? And then if I measure my BP and things like that, everything changes. So psychology, physiology, and pathology, all the things together, it creates a health. Any anomaly in any of this part is going to affect it. So that is the reason after breakup, a lot of guys, they go into depression and then their entire body actually changes. They feel acidity. They don't feel like getting up. So what we understood is that any change in any of the three aspects is going to in the long run. So not necessarily you understand your body inside, okay, and not always the changes will be apparent in short term, right? So once you start taking water, you'll not see any effect immediately, but over a period of time, you'll start seeing that effect in other sense that your knees will be start paining. You'll see a little bit of pain in your back. So always, because our human body is extremely strong, we always underestimate this body. This body has a tremendous healing capacity, self-healing capacity, and this capacity has been built from millions of years, right? At least 1 or 2 million years since our gene started. Now, if you observe the animals when they get ill, they'll find a very cornerish kind of a place in your home. If you have seen the cage, they'll not talk to anyone. It is not too warm, not too cold. They'll go there, they'll take a sleep, and then they'll start moving when they feel good, right? So any animal in the animal kingdom gets prepared just by taking rest, because body has a mechanism. If you free the body from any other work, the body can focus on the healing purpose, right? It's almost like that. When you have your exam, you focus on only two things. You go to temple, pray, and then you come back and you again pray that you get the questions which you have studied. So that's pretty much what we do. We free ourselves from all the other activities, right? And that's how we do good work. I mean, we study, we put 24 hours into the study, and we perform because we focus on a single task of clearing that semester exam. Particularly in engineering, getting a back is not a good idea. So the same way, when our body gets ill, right? Now, what we do is we do a little bit of injustice in a sense that we try to suppress that healing process by medicine, by external triggers, rather than taking the natural process, which is lying down, taking complete rest, letting our body to heal itself. And because we interfere into the natural healing process, what happens is our body manifests in a different way. See, when you are writing your semester exam right now, imagine your lecturer comes and start talking, right? And you have a really bad paper. Let's say it's a maths 2 paper, or let's say it's a data structure paper, and your invigilator is coming and talking. You get disturbed, right? Even however you have studied, you feel very irritated that they should not talk, right?
Yes.
That's what actually happens when you don't take that rest, when your body requires that. It is healing, and what you are doing, you are disturbing. So any invigilator may come and your teacher may come and ask, how is the question? And you would be telling yourself, come on, give me a break. Question is all, I mean, all question is all about, passing the exam. You'll be telling that into your mind. He may have come with the intention of help, but that doesn't help you in a sense because you want to focus. Now, having explained you what is our body, let me tell you what exactly mask mask does to us, right? So I want to show you my spec, which is pretty perfect. I'm going to clean it and I'm going to wear this spec. It's pretty fine. So I'm wearing this specs, right? And now I would like to wear a mask. Now, if you see this one, it doesn't rocket science, right? If you see this one, there is this
Beauty on this, yeah.
Okay. Now, now, see, if I wear this mask, right? What is happening is I'm taking oxygen, right? I'm taking oxygen because mask is allowing me to take the oxygen. And then when I'm leaving carbon dioxide, you'll feel there is a heat around your nose. You can try that out.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so you will feel a heat. Now, this is a very small phenomenon. Now you continue this phenomenon over a long period of time. What you are doing is, you see, the moment I wear mask, I'm feeling that sneezing, right? Why I'm feeling that sneezing is, you may be knowing that our human body is essentially a host of is essentially a bacterial host. Our human body has got only 10% of human genes and 90% of bacterial genes. So this is basically a body which is full of bacteria. All right. And most of the bacteria stay in your gut, in your stomach, nasal cavity, esophagus, your anal cavity, and so on and so forth. Now they're really micro organ. I mean, so you have to treat your body as a country where many people live, right? And so now you wear a mask. Your body is very strong. Those are very small guys. You wear a mask and you are putting much more carbon dioxide into that. Now what happens is that those guys who are sitting over there in your nasal cavity, your good guys, your good citizens, they start dying, right? And if you wear it for 3 hours, you can realize that there is a sneezing, tendency. Why that happens is because you have a lot of dead bacteria in your nasal cavity, and body tries to throw them off, right? Okay. Now, what is the significance of this is, say for example, we are inhaling a year. Say I'm inhaling a year. Now you don't exhale, right? You inhale, you keep inhaling, and you'll feel the discomfort in 4 inhaling itself. You inhale and your body will start giving out because you are not releasing the carbon dioxide in a manner you should, right? So breathing is not only important, but proper exhaling is also important. All right. Okay. Now what happens is when you are breathing, the air comes in your nasal cavity, and if there are viral components, they are also coming in your nasal cavity, right?
Yes.
Not good defense system over here, which we call the innate immunity, the first layer of your immunity. You have an extremely good defense over here. So these guys are going to fight your virus and are going to kick them out, right? They're not going to let that virus getting inside your body from the nasal cavity. They are going to fight those viruses out, because it's in like when you have a neighbor coming into your home, you don't really quarrel with the neighbor. But if somebody comes into your house, invades into
Hmm.
your house whom you do not know, you start throwing him out, right? I mean, you put all the efforts to throw him out. So the same thing happens. These guys will then fight to send that those external bodies out, which we call the innate immunity. If you have studied the COVID pathophysiology and the people that it affects, children are least suffered by COVID, right?
Hmm.
So
Yes.
the effect of children is very low. Why? So we have to understand why that happens is because the children has got a very strong innate immunity and very weak adaptive immunity. Because adaptive immunity, which is there inside your body, it all depends upon, it's almost like a machine learning, right? The more data it takes, the more better it gets. But for children, they haven't learned enough, they haven't had enough diseases. So their external body, the good guys that are staying in the esophagus, the good guys that are staying in their nasal cavity, these are the guys that are going to defend them. So because children have a very strong innate immunity, the virus is not really getting inside their body, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And as we grow up, our innate immunity gets really down. I mean, it slowly comes down, and our adaptive immunity gets higher. So what your vaccines tries to kind of do is kind of put pseudo virus in your body and try to make your body respond to that, creating the antibodies.
Hmm.
But
Yes.
our body has been fighting against the virus. I mean, we have millions of viruses inside our body, right? I mean, we just have 10% of human genes. So our body
Hmm.
has learned how to live with the viruses, right? How to make friends with the viruses and live, right? It's almost like we have two neighbors who are not really friendly with us, but we don't really do a war with them all the time, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Adjustments, right?
Hmm.
Both with
Yes.
our neighbor on the west and our neighbor on the east. Yeah, we'll complain sometimes that boycott this, boycott that, but at the end of the day, we know that how to. I mean, we have to live with these guys, right? So the same way, the good guys inside our body, they kind of make friends with these viruses and bacteria, and then they live with it. Okay, that's how human body has evolved. Now, what this mask does is this mask harms significantly your first layer of immunity, which is your innate immunity, right? So this mask will bring down your first layer of defense, which is your innate immunity. So the virus, which could have been completely destroyed in this portion, nasal cavity, now it goes inside your body, sits in the endothelial cell of your body, and then starts uh, replicating. So that's pretty much the first thing that it does. So
Hmm.
and this is not the first study. So what you can do is you can open google.scholar, and you can read the effect of N95 mask, the physiological effect of N95 mask. Let me repeat it. You can go to scholar.google.com and you can read physiological effect of N95 mask, right? Now, in the standard operating procedure of N95 mask, it is clearly written that once you wear the N95 mask, after every 15 minutes, you have to bring it down for 5 minutes, right? Okay, that's in the
Hmm.
medical
Yes.
procedure. Now, this is not this kind of consumer mask. They're not as thin grained as N95 mask, right? But this is still very thin cavity for the air to pass. So whatever procedure you are following for your N95 mask, if you want N95 mask to be removed after every 15 minutes, you definitely want to do that for this mask also. So you can pretty much find out why you should be removing.
Hmm.
Now, This is not the only thing that is happening. So first thing is, by wearing mask, you are basically killing the good guys who are there inside your body. You are basically destroying your innate immunity, and you are making yourself vulnerable by means of which now the viruses will be directly entering. So it is almost like you are removing the bodyguard from your body. The second thing, which is more dangerous, is something like this. uh, do a very small experiment where what you do is you close all the doors and windows, switch off the fan, all right, and
Yeah. Okay.
you stay in that room for 24 hours, all right.
Hmm.
Don't open any door, don't open any windows, no ventilation. So you stay in, it has got enough oxygen, right? You are not going to die. There are some
Hmm.
gaps. And then you observe yourself what is happening inside your body. You'll feel that your eyes are very heavy, right? uh, First thing that you'll feel is your eyes are very heavy. I'm sure that you guys have done your you are from which branch, Karthik? Computer science, which branch?
Electrical branch.
Electrical branch. So I'm sure you must have had your labs, right? Transformer labs.
Yes, yes, sir.
And when you come back from your transformer lab, just after coming back, if you try to recall, you'll feel little heaviness in your eyes, right? Because
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
labs are not
actually close. Yeah.
very, very much
Hmm.
ventilator. And when a lot of students are inside that lab, you are basically inhaling a lot of carbon dioxide. I mean,
Around, yeah.
retaining a lot of carbon dioxide. Now, what happens with this is there are two interesting things that happens. The first interesting thing that happens is that, our body has this blood supplies, right? So our heart
Hmm.
carries this blood. I mean, so we inhale oxygen by lungs, and then it sends that oxygen to heart, where in the blood that oxygen get mixed, and
Hmm.
then through the arteries, and heart pumps that, and it reaches to all the parts, right? To all the part of the body, to the tip, to the fingertip, and also to
Hmm.
the head, right?
Hmm.
Now, sending oxygen to the legs is really easy because you are forcing the fluid towards the gravity, right? But that's not that easy as far as the head is concerned, right? There are two things, because carbon dioxide is little heavier, right? And when you try to push the oxygen, what now happens is, when you wear mask for a long period of time, is the same experiment that, I mean, it is the same feeling that you had in your electrical lab, where just after coming out of the lab, you'll want to breathe in the fresh air, you'll feel little heaviness in the ear.
Hmm.
So what
Hmm.
happens, the oxygen that your blood carries, which we call the saturated oxygen percentage in the blood, right?
Hmm.
If you look at SpO2, you'll see that your saturated oxygen is about 98 and 99.
Hmm.
It is almost like your body temperature, right? Whether Delhi is 42-degree, or Delhi is 45-degree, or Delhi is 6-degree, irrespective of what is the Delhi's temperature, your body's internal temperature
Hmm.
is always remain constant, right? Body has a lot of mechanism to balance it.
Hmm.
Okay. So irrespective of whether you don't breathe for a lot of period of time, or you are breathing fast, your blood tries to maintain that oxygen level, right? Which we call saturated oxygen percentage. But just because your internal temperature is good, that doesn't mean that you don't have a problem inside your body. The same way, if your SpO2 is good, that doesn't mean that your body has got enough oxygen, right? See, your inside body temperature is 37-degree. It will remain to be 37-degree as long as body can generate the heat to sustain that, right? If you stand in Himalaya with your t-shirt down, the body will still fight 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then it will collapse. It will not have the ability to generate that heat.
Hmm.
The
Yes.
same way, if you go and stand in front of your Safdarjung hospital, let's say in Delhi, in the May of Delhi, it's 46-degree. Your body will still sustain. You'll be sweating and it will still manage. But you do that for 5 continuous days, and he'll be out, right?
Hmm.
So he'll not
Yes.
see it immediately, but the changes is already happening. Your inside
Hmm.
temperature is different, but your body is not able to cool you off.
Hmm.
It is the same thing with the oxygen. So body tries to always maintain the same oxygen level in the blood. But let's imagine, so how do body carries that oxygen? Through the blood. Which component of the blood? Hemoglobin, right?
Yes. Hmm.
So oxygen gets bind with your hemoglobin and it is transferred. People who have got anemia, they're already having less amount of oxygen in their body, right? So
Hmm.
anybody who is anemic, if you scratch the surface, anybody who is anemic, if you ask the viewer to scratch the surface, you'll see it's a very dry skin because tissues are not getting enough amount of oxygen.
Hmm.
Anybody who has a hair fall, if you ask them, it's going to be very very thin because the root of the hair is not getting enough oxygen. It's as simple as that, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
the same way, when you put a mask for a long period of time, what you are doing is you are reducing the oxygen inside your tissues.
Hmm.
So where does the first effect comes? It comes in your brain.
Brain.
Why? Because it is difficult to push the oxygen, blood against the gravity. And as long as you stand up or you sit, you'll start feeling kind of a nausea, kind of tiredness, kind of headache in your brain, right? You'll feel something odd and you'll want to sleep down. Why? Because your body is telling you that your brain requires more amount of blood than what you are giving it to your brain. So anybody who is watching, if you are wearing mask for a long period of time, following are the things that will happen. Number one, you'll feel sneezing. Number two, you'll feel a lot of tiredness. Why? Because tissues need oxygen. If there is no oxygen, they'll feel tired. So you'll feel a lot of tiredness. The third thing that is going to happen is you are going to have a lot of headache, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Fourth thing you are going to have is you'll have a bad sleep. If you are wearing your mask for a long period of time and if you go to sleep in the night, you'll find that you have a difficulty in the sleeping also. And in Aculi Labs, so what we do is we build systems which do complex diagnostic tests for your phone camera. Okay, so for example, what happens is if I keep my capillary inside the phone camera, you can see that there is a redness, and if you observe it very carefully, as the blood is flowing, there will be a minute changes. So we do the signal processing. You can see there is a pulsation in the you can observe a very detailed pulsation over here. If I can show you
Hmm. Yes, sir. Yeah.
in this.
Yeah, we can see that. Yeah. Hmm.
So because your oxygenated blood is coming towards this and deoxygenated blood is going out, so by reading this pulse, what we try to do is we try to measure a lot of your health parameters, and we have already done a study where we show that there is a significant amount of hypoxia or lack of oxygen in your tissue and in your brain when you wear mask for 30 minutes. Because as far as N95 standard procedure, you should remove your mask at least for 5 minutes after wearing it for 25 minutes. So we have followed that
Hmm.
procedure. Now imagine people were wearing it for 3 hours.
Hmm.
There is no N95 has a standard operating procedure which needs you to lower it after every 25 minutes, and if you are wearing it for 3 hours, can you imagine the damage you are doing? Now, because human body is capable of taking care of immediate problems, you'll not feel any difficulty immediately, but there is some change which is happening inside your pathology, right? But your body is good enough to handle those changes, so you are not seeing any change immediately. But when the
Hmm.
body is capable of handling that, you'll see that coming in your physiology. That is, after wearing mask for a long period of time, if you go and see your eyes in the mirror, you'll see your eyes much more red, So you don't require a sophisticated engine to see that. So you'll see your eyes being red. Then you'll certainly feel that your brain is not really in a position that it used to be. You are lacking the concentration, right? So you are challenging your mental health, you are challenging your innate immunity, you are every day you are completely destroying your innate immunity. You are completely destroying your mental health, and therefore you'll see by the time the corona ends, you'll see plenty of suicide cases because your brain is not getting oxygen. So the moment your brain stops getting oxygen, the mental imbalance will increase, and it will increase significantly in humans who are anemic. And because most of our mothers are anemic, after delivery they become anemic, the mental health will become very challenging in the female individuals, right? So I think it's a high time that government comes up with proper data and bring a awareness in the people that okay, in 95 marks, this is the standard protocol. You should wear it for this much period of time, and then you should go out and do. And that's the same thing with that's the kind of same thing that happens with your sanitizer and the other thing. See, even though people have done a lot of studies and have proven that sanitizer are harmless, but know this for a fact that your body is a very, very, very self-healing process. Any interference you do with your body will always have an effect. There is nothing called no effect. There is always an effect, right? Even if you drink, see, if you drink, if you drink 1 teaspoon of alcohol, 1 teaspoon of alcohol, your insulin will increase for almost 72 hours. Will not, whatever level of insulin increases, it will remain for 72 hours. Imagine 1 teaspoon of alcohol, right? So most of these studies are not long-term studies, right? Nobody has done a study that if somebody has used sanitizer, what is the possibility of them having cancer or heart attack over a period of 15 to 20 years of time. No such studies been done. And so you can say that it is harmless because recent studies have also proven. I mean, if you go to CDC site, CDC, I'm talking about Central of Disease Control, has found that sanitizers have a negative effect on the animal subjects, right? And that is definitely has a negative impact on the children. Okay. Why do you think they are impacting negatively on the children? Because children have got a very strong immunity, innate immunity, right? You put it is going to affect their innate immunity. So children will fall sick. So if they say that, okay, adults are not getting much affected by sanitizer, the reason, you have to see the reason, because in the childhood, your external body defense, there are bacteria all over skin, right? And for children, this is their line of defense. So children will not wash their hand many a time. They'll eat anything and they'll not fall sick, right? But you wash your hand, you eat something, you'll fall sick. But the children they don't get sick that often, right? Why? Because these bacteria are defending them. Now, obviously, we don't have as much bacteria as the children have, but we still have good amount of bacteria. So what you are doing is you are cleaning this off every day. Now, what exactly you are doing with this protocol? You are completely stripping your outer layer of the defense from the body. You are stripping yourself from the strongest defending layer, right? And then when the virus enters, it is not a respiratory virus where you can handle it by a respiratory drug. It's a vascular virus. So it literally spreads in your entire body once it is out of the way, and that is the reason they are not been able to fight anything. So when people talk about immunity boosters, then also people have misinformed the general people. When you talk about immunity, you have to clearly talk about the what is the kind of immunity? Innate immunity, or adaptive immunity. If it is adaptive immunity, adaptive immunity in our body is significantly driven by the bacteria. All right.
Yeah.
90% of our body is bacteria. Okay. You only have 10% of human genes. So anything, if you are talking about your immunity, obviously because your body is 90% non-human, your immunity is also 90% non-human, right?
Yes.
When you are taking a antibacteria or which you call the antibiotics, come on, you are damaging your own bacteria.
Sure.
Right. And that is the reason, because no viral disease has been ever cured by an antibiotic drug. I mean, that isn't whatever the claim is. I mean, there are enough studies. If people can go to scholar.google.com, you find it, right? Paracetamol is a banned drug in US. You cannot give that to patients. So the problem with modern world is that we are entirely driven by non-research driven. No, that's not how you should do. It's your body. Nobody is going to take care of your body. You should go to scholar.google.com and search the effect of mask on the nose, and you should download that research article and see what is the finding. You should take learned decisions. You should maturely check the data. And that's the same thing which is happening with your sanitizer and literally everything. See, you interfere with your 90% of the good guys that are living in your body. Bad guys will harm you. It's as simple as that, right? You had your keeper, you had your gatekeeper, or you had your watchman, and you say, no, there is no thief in my home, so you can just get out. So you send the watchman out, and now your home is vulnerable, right? So you are trying to make a good door, but you are not ready to deal with that watchman. You are stripping the outer layer of immunity from hand, from nose, from mouth, right? And so you are anyways dead, right? And to conclude this subject, you know what is the prevalent? I mean, see, any disease which is epidemic, right? We measure that by a parameter called prevalence, which is how many in a population are affected by this. So tell me, what is the death prevalence due to corona in India? What is the death prevalence? That is 1 in every 10 lakh population. That in 10 lakh population, 1 person is dying out of corona. Okay.
Okay.
Government data. So I would like to trust that data, right? So prevalence of corona is 1 death in 10 lakh population. Okay. What is the prevalence of cardiovascular disease in India? 423 in the urban sector. 4,200 in the urban sector for 10 lakh population. Okay. That is 4,000 times more. Okay.
Yeah.
And neurodegenerative disease, which is Parkinson disease, Alzheimer disease, then you have this, dementia, right? So with age, there is a degradation in our neurons. So what is the prevalence of that? The prevalence of neurodegenerative disease is nearly 50,000 in 10 lakh people. So in order to save 1 person, you are basically killing 54,000 people, right? Now imagine that the entire India gets infected by corona. Let's hypothetically assume that entire India gets infected, right? So we leave masks together and we say, let us get infected. What happens is very interesting over here. Our population is 1.4 billion. So how many deaths we have? We'll be having something around 1,40,000 deaths, right? That is the number. We have 1,40,000 deaths.
Okay.
What is the daily death in India? 21,000 deaths before corona number. I am saying, what is the daily death in India? 21,000 deaths. So if the entire India gets infected, total number of people who are going to die is going to be equivalent to 7 days of death people in India. So in 7 days, whatever is the number of people who dies, that is the exact number of people who are going to die over a period of, I mean, if the entire country gets infected.
Right.
However, this is not all that simple, because the more people gets infected, the amount of viral load, so the people's vulnerability will also increase. So it is not that simple, right? But still, hypothetically, if you take that number, we still have about 1,40,000 to 2 lakh deaths out of the entire India. However, if you continue this thing, right, without educating people, if you continue this, what you are going to see, a very interesting fact. This video you can bookmark when you will publish. You'll see exceedingly high number of deaths by cardiovascular disease. Whatever last year's number was in India, that number will jump. The second interesting thing that you'll see is many more cancers. The third thing that you'll see is many more mental health challenges. There will be multiple time increase in the autism, okay, for the newborn baby. Why?
Yeah.
Because newborn babies will be deprived of the, because pregnant mothers, they anyways are anemic. They become anemic. And on the top of that, if you put the mask, there will be significant amount of hypoxia in the baby. So what you are going to see is following. You are going to see number of autistic child born in 2021 increase significantly. Number of deaths due to cardiovascular disease is going to rise significantly. Number of neurodegenerative disease, which is depression, suicide, those death is going to, and Alzheimer obviously is going to jump seriously, and then cancer death. So what you are going to see is next year there will be significantly more number of people who are dying than you expected. And if you have seen, if you have tracked the number, the tuberculosis already has a 14% jump in India. Recently, our health ministry has already published that data, that there is a 14% jump in tuberculosis. It's not even 3 months, right? Because you are interfering with body's healing process. So yeah, and there is no right or wrong approach. I mean, one of the things that you have to note that complex problem never has a simple solution, right? If you're not feeling good, you cannot say I'll drink and I'll feel good. That's not a solution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Complex problem always will have a very complex solutions. It's a combination of a lot of things. So what are the combination of things? So I'm talking about the solution part. Now I have given the problem. So what is the solution of that? All right. So what is the solution of that? First, you have to strengthen your external innate immunity first. Okay. Now these good bacteria are being fed by, it's completely dependent upon a lot of factors. One of the factors is vitamin D, which contributes to your innate immunities there. That's the reason you put oil and put the babies in sun, to strengthen. So one of the good supplies of that comes from come from sunlight and vitamin D. So you can figure out methods. I don't have to give any prescription over here, but omega-3 fatty acid and then sun increases your vitamin D significantly. So that way you have to work on your immunity aspect. The second thing is you have to increase your adaptive immunity. 90% of this is bacteria, good guys, right? So what do you want to do? You want to make good guys healthy. You want to make your good bacteria healthy. How do you make your good bacteria healthy? Most of your good bacteria stay in your gut and stomach, right? So you have a very good morning motion, right? You take that very seriously. If you have a constipation, you have a problem. I mean, there are other virus and bacteria which are staying in your anal cavity and then your stomach cavity. So you clean your body, right? I mean, you put a lot of focus. I mean, you can take, I mean, those people who has constipation, you can have a glass of warm water and put a little bit of apple cider vinegar and what do you call the lemon, and you drink it first, and your motion will be clear. The moment your motion will be clear, automatically your body will feel better, and your good bacteria will have a good time because they're not having to fight against those bad bacteria coming from your motion. So you have increased your overall immunity with vitamin D. That is, you are taking omega-3 fatty acid. You can get that in good cholesterol in ghee also. So you can have a teaspoon of ghee and you can be in the sun. Okay. So the second is you are clearing all your cavities, right? So you have a good motion. Then you focus on what you are taking. You don't take any carbohydrates, right? You don't take any kind of packaged food. You don't take pizza, but what packaged carbohydrate you totally don't take, right? You take anything. Okay. You don't take packaged carbohydrate. You said, you talk to yourself that I'm not going to take white sugar. That is number one. And packaged carbohydrate. I'm not going to take any biscuit. I'm not going to take anything which has got any sugar, white sugar and packaged carbohydrate. You are feeling you want to take sweet, particularly for girls, they love a lot of chocolate. So you can take good, you can have that like a chocolate, or you can have a honey. You can have honey. You can have both, right? So you are stopping the bad things to get in, right? So you are stopping carbohydrate and you are stopping sugar, bad sugar. Raw white sugar is like poison, man. I mean, you take a bottle of sugar and you smoke equivalent amount of cigarette, bottle of sugar will do much more harm, right? So you stop both these things. Now what happens is you further increase your body's defense, right? Next thing is, so if our cells has got less oxygen, they'll die, right? If this cell doesn't have an oxygen, it is going to die. Now our cell gets regenerated in the night. And when I say night, your body doesn't know that you have a Arnab Goswami show at 9 o'clock. Your body knows night is evening 6 to morning 6, day is morning 6 to evening 6, which we call the cycle, biological cycle. Right?
Yeah, biological. Yeah.
So your body heals only in the night and only when you sleep. Yeah. So in the amount of time you sleep between evening 6 to morning 6, maybe you try to take your food little early. You may be knowing giants have this, they want to take the food before sunset, and that's a great practice in terms of science. So you take your food early, like 7:38, and not everybody can do 6:30, but 7:38, 8:30. At least you go to sleep by 9. So 3 hours up to 5, 8 hours of sleep you'll have. Now, if you go to sleep at 2 o'clock and wake up at 10 o'clock, you still have only 3 hours of sleep. Because only up to 5 a.m. your healing process happens, right? So what you do is you increase the amount of sleep between evening 6 to morning 5. The more you sleep, whatever cells that are dead, they're being replaced by new cells. So you are good, right? So even if you are wearing mask for some period of time and your cells are completely dead, then your body will be able to produce those cells again, right? Okay. So this is so number one, you increased your guys, the watchman. Then you cleared your stomach. You are not eating. I mean, you are not keeping your motion. Constipation is number one reason because of which a lot of disease comes. So clean your stomach as much as possible. Once you are clean, stop the poison of sugar and the white sugar and carbohydrate, processed food. My God, you don't want to take that. That's poison. I mean, you take potassium cyanide instead, right? Fat doesn't harm you. Fat is good for the body. Cholesterol, I mean, that's good. But if you take carbohydrate, gosh, you are just calling for. So whenever you are buying food, you just try to see what is the fat content. If the fat content is more, that's fine. If the carbohydrate content is more, that's not the food for you. You give that, then you, even after those, the number of cells which have died, you sleep in time and you make those cells recover.
Hmm.
Then, and then what you do is you take a walk early in the morning before 7. Now, what that does is it puts fresh oxygen, right? It puts fresh oxygen. So now your body is getting fresh oxygen, right? We are done with this. Now, there is one more thing that you do, which further helps you. What do? You take a breath and you count. You don't exhale. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. However long you can hold, and then release. It's not a meditation kind of a thing. You just take a deep breath, hold the breath for as long as you can, and leave it, and play a game with yourself that I'm going to hold this for a long period of time. Now you'll see some interesting thing happening. This process of holding your breath, fasting, which is not feeding your body with any food, allowing body to heal, not breathing, that is fasting oxygen, will heal your body as much as you can fast. It will heal your body as much as you can make your body fast. With here it will heal your body. Then you sleep, make your body fast against the activity. So you fast against food, you fast against oxygen, you fast against activity. And the fourth thing is you fast against thinking. Just sit without anything. Just sit in any time of the day. Just don't think anything. Whenever you try to think, just clean everything. For 5 minutes, you don't think anything. Make a thinking fasting, food fasting, oxygen fasting, and what do you call the activity fasting, and you are all good. And wherever you have to wear mask because there is a lot of hysteria in the public, you wear, but you make sure that you don't stay in any such places more than 25 minutes. You come out, you bring it down, and you breathe for 5 minutes. It is mandatory. It is mandatory. You don't stay in any place in your mask for more than 25 minutes. You come out and have a breathing for at least 5 minutes. And the last thing, avoid to go to places as much as possible. Whether you are good, healthy or not, doesn't make a difference. Why do you want to hurt yourself? Stay in your home as much as possible. People may call you in office and all those things. You are not going to get your life back, man. Once you are gone, it's gone. Once body is unable to heal you, you're going to spend a lot of money in your treatment, and there is no treatment for the body. Body is something which is lost, is always lost. So don't do that. Don't go to public, and we are all good. And the last thing is you can take a lot of research papers which are there in scholar.google.com. If you are having fever, before 1 or 2, don't put those pills in, right? You are going to die out of the pill. You are not going to die without any pill. Your body, for thousands of years, they have fought against the viruses and bacteria. It has got a process. Just don't go out, put yourself in blanket and see how your body is healing. These are the data which are present in the public domain. I do not want to really create any kind of public hysteria, but these are some of the norms which are available in the public domain, which anybody can refer and anybody can read, and then you take a learned decision. Just remember that there is no simplistic solution for such a complex issue that we are facing. It requires awareness. Be aware of your body, be aware of the things. We can only do this much bit. We can come and tell you only about as much as we can. So.
Great, Rupam. So I think that given this condition, it is mandatory for us all to wear the mask and stay at home. But additional knowledge, the proper way of using the N95 mask, the technical aspects and the research factors which you had mentioned has been really giving us a different kind of insight into this amidst this corona pandemic. Thank you, Rupam, for giving this insight to us for our channel audience.
Thanks, Karthik. Thanks. It was pleasant. I mean, the way that we exchanged ideas before the talks also much appreciated. I wish your channel to grow. Bright young team, and I wish your team all the very best. You grow and you keep bringing this information in the public domain, doing your duty. Thank you so much, Karthik, for having me in your channel today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rupam. I definitely feel that this piece of your knowledge would definitely educate people on how to use the N95 mask in the right way.
Or even consumer grade mask for that matter.
Yeah. So, Rupam, so if in case our channel audience viewer want to reach out to you, what is the best way to do it? Can you just let us know where they can communicate with you?
One of my office is LinkedIn. I mean, you may be knowing that I spend a lot of time interacting with people on LinkedIn, and I miss out on a lot of phone calls and emails because I get so many of them. I try to respond, but at times it becomes difficult. LinkedIn is a place, however, where you would find it easy to have this interaction with me, or else you can also write to me at rupam@aculi.com if there is something which you do not want to bring it to public domain, or if you want to keep it confidential. R for Rajasthan, U for Umbrella, P for Pune, A for Ahmedabad, M for Mumbai. Rupam@aculi, ACCULI, Ahmedabad, Cochin, Umbrella, LinkedIn, India. That's aculi.com. So you just write to me in either of this way. That's about it.
Great, Rupam. Thank you again for taking a part of your time from your busy schedule and sharing it with us.
Do follow our YouTube channel lifers.com, where we keep on bringing this information, and also our LinkedIn LinkedIn page of aculi.com. We constantly bring this researches in the public domain. So please, guys, do follow our Lifers Lifers YouTube channel and Aculi Labs LinkedIn.
Sure. We will leave that in the description below.
Yeah. Thank you,
Rupam.
Karthik, it was amazing talking to you. Hope this information goes in well and people get benefited from this information. Thank you.